When Lena rented apartment 47, she thought it would be temporary, just a place to stay for a few months. The building stood on the edge of the city, gray and cracked, its balconies wrapped in a web of old electrical wires. Everything about it looked tired, as if the place itself had been waiting too long to be left alone. The landlady was an elderly woman with pale, glassy eyes. She barely spoke, but before leaving, she said one thing, twice. "Whatever you do, don't open the storage room door at night. The building's old. Drafts can be strange." Lena nodded politely, brushing it off as superstition. The apartment was small but cozy. Faded wallpaper, dim lighting, and that old musty smell that never quite goes away. As she cleaned, her hand brushed the cold handle of the storage room door. It was chipped, crooked, and the air around it felt just a little colder. She almost opened it, but didn't. Let it stay closed, she thought. That first night, Lena barely slept. From behind the wall came faint sounds, a soft scratching, like someone dragging their fingernails slowly across the plaster. Then a knock. She told herself it was just the pipes, or maybe rats. Old buildings always make noises. The next morning, she noticed the clock on the wall had stopped. The hands were frozen at 2:47 a.m. She wound it back up. That night, it stopped again, at exactly the same time. Over the next few days, the oddities multiplied. Her phone began turning on by itself. Once, she woke up to find the voice recorder app running. She pressed play and heard breathing. Close, steady, human breathing. And then, a whisper. "You've opened it already, haven't you?" Her blood ran cold. She deleted the file immediately, but her hands wouldn't stop shaking. And then slowly, the apartment started to feel darker. Not visibly, but like the shadows had weight. The air grew heavy. Even the light flickered, pulsing faintly, as though something else in the room was breathing with her. On the weekend, Lena tried talking to the neighbors. The man across the hall looked at her strangely when she mentioned apartment 47. "That place has been empty for years," he said quietly, "since the last guy vanished." She didn't believe him. Not really. But that night, she caught a faint odor seeping from behind the storage door. Damp, metallic, and old, like the air in a forgotten basement. When she leaned closer, she thought she heard something. Soft breathing. Not her own. She turned on the TV for background noise, but after a few minutes, realized the sounds inside the wall were keeping the same rhythm as the music on the screen. Like something was mimicking. At 2:47 a.m., she woke up again. Her phone screen glowed in the dark. Another new recording. It was titled, "Don't Turn Around." Lena pressed play. Her own voice whispered, "He wakes up when you stare at the wall. Don't turn around." Her scream cut through the silence. She didn't remember recording that. The next morning, she decided to finally open the storage room. Daylight streamed through the window. It felt safe, or at least safer. But when she turned the handle, it resisted, as if someone on the other side was holding it shut. She forced it. The lock snapped. Inside, the air was thick and stale. Dust covered everything. On the floor, an old mattress, a pair of small shoes, and a cassette player. Someone had carved words into the plastic. "Listen." And "Don't open again." Lena pressed play. Her own voice, or something that sounded just like it, whispered through the static, "He's awake now, and he knows your name." The tape stopped. The apartment didn't feel empty anymore. After that day, Lena began noticing her reflection lagging in mirrors. Her movements came a split second too late. Sometimes, her reflection smiled when she didn't. Late one night, there was a knock at her door. When she looked through the peephole, she saw the landlady standing there. No coat, no shoes, her hair damp and tangled. "You didn't open that room at night, did you?" she asked in a trembling voice. Lena said nothing. The old woman sighed. "Then it's too late. He knows you can hear him now." The knocking stopped. When Lena looked again, the hallway was empty. No one saw her after that night. Weeks later, the apartment was listed again. Cozy one-bedroom, old building, but warm and quiet. Sometimes, neighbors say the light in apartment 47 turns on by itself, and every few nights, at exactly 2:47 a.m., someone hears a soft knock from behind the wall. They say it's just the building settling, but if you ever rent an old apartment and hear someone knocking from inside the wall, don't knock back. Sometimes the walls are listening, and if you answer, they start to talk.